Hey, everybody, and welcome to Rick Snider's Worston on YouTube, where you get the whole story. So please like, share, subscribe, comment, and hit the thanks button. Tonight, we are going to raise any money comes this way for local food banks for Thanksgiving time. So I'm putting it in right now to the chat where I figure the best way is direct, so that YouTube doesn't take a cut out of it. They're probably going to love hearing that. But there's my PayPal address. Um, okay. So if we do that, all the money that comes in will go to the local food bank for people for Thanksgiving. So last year we did pretty well with this. So, I mean, for this little show, we raised about $120. And food banks make money go a long way. So if you can donate something, you can do it on your own. That's fine too. um, However you want to do it, but let's try and do something. You get the show for free. You get what you pay for sometimes, but I'd like to think that people would help out at Thanksgiving, and then we'll do it again for a toy drive in a couple of weeks. So try to uh, try to help out where you can. All right. So actually, you got some people jumping in. So I did do a show last Friday as we got ready for the Mike Tyson fight. Oh man, nothing worked well that night. Tyson didn't have anything left in him. It went to like midnight. We finally bailed. I mean, oh, what a mess. But we did talk Commander some. But I'll do it again tonight for an hour, so we can raise some money. So kick in however you can do it. All right. So, all right. Some news today. Might as well start with that. Dan Quinn came back and talked to the media today, first time since the loss on Thursday. And he said, started off right away. Might be on your end, Abe, hopefully. If everybody else is having trouble seeing me, let me know. Quinn said right off, he goes, Jaden Daniels is not hurt. Okay. We're not injured. And some of the problems that he's been having probably relate to less practice time. And so they're going to try and hit it this week and get him back in the normal flow. But they're trying to discount that rib injury that everybody like me is conjecturing, is that a problem or not? So that's part of it. And then as far as Marshawn Lattimore goes, they're hoping that he will be on the field later this week. But quite honestly, that to me says that's just the first part of the rehab. I don't expect to see him against Dallas, but maybe the next week. They knew he wouldn't be ready from day one. This would be 3 games that he would miss if he does miss against Dallas. They could use him. But as I've said all along, they got Lattimore for January games, not for November games. So, um, that shouldn't be the difference in this one. Let's see. Also in the news, well, you kind of said that the midseason slump thing is a real thing. I've talked about that before. I mean, it was more when colleges played 10 games that you'd see rookies around this time of year really flatten out because they'd never played this late. But now college teams play 13, 12, 15 games. So I haven't seen it as much in recent years. Quinn said that they have been doing an internal review every 4 games, self-scouting, what it's often called. So he's doing that, and he's pretty happy overall with the team. A sad note today: Jack Kent Cook's daughter, Jacqueline, passed away a month ago. We never heard about it until there was an appreciation for her in the Post a couple of days ago. And Jacqueline was the child of Cook's third wife, Suzanne. It was a big scandal back in the days because Cook was like, I don't know, late 70s when this happened. And he and Suzanne ended up divorcing, and the child never really got to know her father until, I don't know, the last year or two. And you would see Jacqueline, she was like, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, would be riding in the golf cart with Cook down to practice. And he spent some time with her for the last year or two of his life. And she was only 36, passed away, didn't give a reason for it. So just kind of a sad thought. I thought, I remember that little girl. Even though she's an adult, I have a kid, 36. Terrible thing. And she's going to be buried next to Jack Kent Cook. Uh, he's buried in Upperville, Virginia, which isn't real far from Redskin Park, probably about half an hour. And I've been to Cook's grave. I was there when he buried him, and then I went back a few years ago when I was working on a book. And I know I went back a couple years ago, right before Sam Huff's um, funeral, or memorial, I guess I should say. And so I went by to see it again. It's been years, and it's just one of those large brass plates on the ground that says Jack Kent Cook in the years on it. It's not some shrine like you might think. But I was just sad to hear that Jacqueline had passed away. All right, and of course, Cook had two boys. One of them, Ralph, passed away. Oh, 20 years ago, more. Well, he died before Cook died, so it was back in the '90s. So that still leaves John Kent Cook, but that's the only one of his children left. Okay, Antoinette wants to know if President Trump will give the okay on the RFK deal. I don't think Trump's worried about that at all right now. There is a hearing on tomorrow, which is Tuesday, where the Senate will talk about all of this. I don't expect them to make any move on it, to be honest. And then it'll be dead, 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 dead for this session. And then next year they can bring it back if they want. I just don't see RFK happening for the team. There's a lot going on around it. And I think in the end of the day, it's just not going to get done. And it's a pawn in a lot of different people's chess games. Let's see, Bob. How about asking people to bring toys for the toy drive the next few games? Well, you can do that also with the Marines are at the mighty Northwest Stadium. They do a toy drive like the last game before, I think it is. Where's my? I'm looking for my. I don't have it somewhere. My clipboard. I usually have whatever that game is. They're always at the game before Christmas for Toys for Tots for DC kids. So certainly, if you come to the stadium, and most of you watching this aren't in Washington, I've found out. But you know, uh, we'll be doing that too. Last year, we got toys for 12 kids, so it was great. We did that. But today we're collecting for the local food bank down. Trying to feed people. So any donation you make, I'll match. So put it in there, and we'll dump some money into the local people to eat. I mean, come on, this country, people are hungry, and I mean, there's a significant amount of people who are hungry in this country. It's not just a couple people, some bums on the street, and a lot of kids don't eat. A lot of seniors have trouble, with it. It's amazing to me in this great country of ours that people are hungry. So, try and help out there. Just send it to. You can do it if you're on YouTube. You can see the dollar sign below. You can do it that way, and I'll transfer the money, or you can send it to me directly on PayPal or Venmo, and assume that I'm not a thief and take your money, and we're going to do this. Okay, Daniel, let Mariota take on the Cowgirls. Well, I'd like to see what Daniels is doing during the week. Is he healed up some enough to do this? But to me, I feel like if there's any question on this, rest them for a little bit. And if, because you want them to get ready for the end of the season. If you waste them now, I mean, that's the problem. Oh, okay, we did get the first donation in from Steve. Thanks, Steve. I forgot to say hello when he came on. Steve, did you stay the whole 3 hours we were on Friday? I think you did. You must have fallen asleep and just didn't log off. But anyway, thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. This money goes a long ways to helping people who are hungry. Let's see. But I'm okay with Mariota playing against Dallas, Tennessee, and give Jaden all that time. But they swear he's okay. So by saying that, I think they're probably going to play him. Traveling alien. Also talking about the homeless veterans. It's unacceptable. It is. I don't know what happens with all the money in this country. Uh, you think there'd be enough to pay for things, but then again, you can never pay for everything. And it's whoever's yelling the loudest that gets the most attention. So it's trying. I'm yelling. Let's help these people here. It'll be something. Antoinette, I heard Dallas Commanders game is sold out. I'm sure it is. Will it be more Commanders or Cowboys? Commanders this time, at least. I don't think, given the Cowboys, plight this year. I don't see them filling the stadium up. So I think it would be a Commanders fan. As far as the Steelers game, I thought there were more Steelers fans than there were, but it was close than Commanders. Just me. I went to sleep watching you, waiting for the fight. There you go. Yeah, I had a feeling, man. It was a long ways. Timothy, thank you so much for chipping in. Do appreciate it. Yeah, I just saw a thing ding by on that. It's kind of funny. Venmo dings me and PayPal emails me, and they're both the same company. It's kind of strange. But from Abe or Timothy, I'm not sure. Either way, both of you, thanks. The money goes to Ukraine. Not sure why. Well, we're trying to keep, like all wars, we get involved in. We're trying to keep it out of the U.S. and settle it elsewhere. That's a whole different conversation. Joel, I feel like Pittsburgh and Philly took the heart out of this team. I don't know. I mean, you look at it in one way. Those are two teams that could make the play. Not just the playoffs. Those two teams could be in a Super Bowl. So they hung with them. They could have won both. So it's it's annoying. I'm sure it's annoying to the players, but they'll put it behind them. And now you got Dallas, you got Tennessee. If you win these two, then that's 9 wins there. That pretty much has you in the playoffs right there with a month to go. Man, is the bye ever coming? God, the bye is just wow. It just feels longer later in the season this time, but it's the exact same place it's been the past 2 years. And Quinn said today, I've never had a bye this late. Well, you haven't been here the last 2 years, man, because that's what it's been. It's nice for Christmas. It gives me a chance to. I'm having all the grandkids come over. They were doing a big cookie bake thing here that day for me. So I kind of like that. But man, it's a grind to get to that thing for everybody involved. It was nice this weekend. It was what did I do? Oh, so what did I do on my one Sunday off? I went tour guiding, made some money. So yeah, I still worked. I just did something else for once. Let's see. Daniel, Cash App is so much easier to send money. I don't know much about that one, unfortunately. Abe, there it is. Oh, that's your real name? Okay. I thought Abe was your real name. Traveling Alien. Have to say the defense looks better and better. Can't hold a good team like the Eagles all game. True. I mean, that's why with the field goal, I would have kicked the field goal to go ahead because you just never know what can happen. Like, look at the Green Bay Chicago game, man. It looks like Chicago's finally got Green Bay. Looks like Baltimore's got Pittsburgh. Bam, one play. It stops. If you get the lead, at least you're in front and you can try and make a play. So I would have kicked it. But having said that, that's not what lost them the game. And because Philly was coming, and they got 2 long runs. The team was wore out. I mean, the time of possession for both the Pittsburgh and Philly games were very lopsided because the offense wasn't doing it, and the defense just wore out. They can't be left out there that long. Let's see. Joel, surprised the game's not 4:15 or 4:25 for the Cowboys game. Well, networks love Cowboys games because they have fans all over the country, even if they haven't won a Super Bowl since '95. Personally, I'm glad. I like earlier games. I get home at 8 o'clock or something instead of later. So I'm okay with that. Antoinette, have you talked to JD or any of the other players? What's the spirit? Well, I haven't talked to them lately because they've been off, and they really won't be back till Wednesday. So can't say anything since they got off after the game Thursday night, and there's been no contact there. Traveling Alien, don't like the call to not get the field goal. Yeah, I agree. I just think take the points. The guys made the field goals, so they've been pretty lucky with kickers. As far as other health watch people, Quinn didn't address it today, so we won't know till Wednesday when we see the injury report, like Seibert, what's happened with him, or what's everybody else look like after a few days of rest. Are they any better? Or, of course, then you'll add the Philly game, which guys got banged up on. I mean, part of Jaden Daniels' problem, too, is his offensive line is starting to get beat up like offensive lines get beat up. It's not unusual. Luckily, they haven't lost anybody. Bob, how is Sam able to travel with the team when he's on the practice squad? Well, players can the practice squad guys can go with the team. They're the guys with the hoodies on or whatever on the side. So they can still go. Let's see. Fire 120, new guy. We got a chance at home next time, but uh, I have no hope that we will beat them against Philly. Philly's a good team, so we'll see what happens. I mean, it's a few weeks away. Daniel, I'll never complain about our kicker after watching the Eagles guy. Yeah, I mean, missed those first two field goals, and I was like, "Ooh, you got a break there." I mean, man, in the NFL now, everybody's making like 80% of their field goals. So it's when Mark Mosley was an MVP of the team and league, was it 82, I think. He made like 2/3 of his field goals. You get fired now if you made 2/3 of your field goals. And they kick 60-yard field goals now like candy, man. It's just it's amazing what's going on with the kicking game. All right, got another donation. Mike Helm, thank you so much for kicking in. I do appreciate it. There you go. We've already got paid enough for rolls for everybody or something. I don't know. I'm with a church group too. We do turkeys, and Target's a big donor of food to the public. So you know that. Go shop at Target or Target, whatever the young people call it now. And it's Target's been a big help with that. I think we got 100 turkeys to donate to the community. Then we got to go give them all away. It takes time. Let's see. Daniel, do you know anything or blah, 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 about the NFL and narrowing the goalpost? I've heard people talk about it. I don't know that it will happen. There's nothing on the agendas about anything, but there's been some talk about it, which means somebody's thinking about it, but who knows when. Mike, was mostly the last straight on kicker? Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to remember. I think there was somebody else that had like a cup of coffee in the league, but that was it. No real steady guy. Bob, how about we do a Sonic or Roy Rogers video instead of a pizza? Oh, what do you want me to eat? I've only been to Sonic's once, although there's not one near my house now, but it used to be. It's one in Waldorf. I could go there. And then where the servers come out roller skating to your car. I mean, it seems kind of crazy. I always thought in the winter they have one. I thought, who sits out in their car in the middle of winter to eat? Well, I have, but what sane person does that? There's a Sonic by the Stadium. Yeah, I do remember seeing that. Next time I got to take it to your car, we'll have to stop. And at Roy's, I like Roy's. We have several in Southern Maryland. I met Roy Rogers. Okay, here's a story for you. I was a young reporter working for a small paper, Southern Maryland, where I live now. And they opened the first Roy Rogers. And Roy came and met everybody on opening day. And you got to shake his hand, big long line. But I can't find a photo of it. I had to take pictures of it. That would have been cool. And be able to find that photo. I have no idea where it is. They come in car on skates. God, I would kill myself. Roller skating with food. All right, Tim. Do we need another power running back to back up B-Rob? Well, I mean, C-Rod supposedly is that guy, and he's done okay at his chances. More so, I think, than McNichols on there. And I mean, Eckler's done very well in the limited times that he's done it, which is what you want. Sorry, I'm aware of having. Commando fan, draft 2025. Okay, Commando fan, you're killing me, man. I can't think about the draft. Secondary, O-line, LB, or wide receiver. My first pick, well, let's just say that the team's going to be picking 20-something. There's not going to be an offensive tackle there at that point that you want. So I think you're going either secondary or receiver. I don't think that'd be the linebacker you would want either. So I would go, I'd take a guess. I'll say receiver because there tends to be more of them still lasting in the back part of the first round. Antoinette, am I a fan of fried turkey? Not really. I don't consider that a healthy food to eat. I've had it once, but too much fat and oil on that, and so No, I really am trying to, you know, do well eating and actually trying to really lose some weight again so I can get off meds that have been bugging me. I'm a diabetic, so I try to really watch what I eat. It's been good, but I want to lose more weight. I'm going to look like one of the little shrunken old guys by the time if I lose it all. I've lost near 70 pounds over the years, but it gets harder as you keep going. Yeah, the last 75 is the hardest. If I lost another 75 pounds, I would be a little shrinking guy you'd be talking to when you know who I am. Last time I went to a drive-in movie, Mike. Well, in the 70s, I used to date a lot, and you went to the drive-in, so maybe if you got lucky. And my wife, I took my wife to those a few times. We used to have them here, but I think they were all gone by the mid 80s, more or less. But I mean, growing up as a kid, went to them all the time. We didn't have indoor theaters so much. Man, it was like I get to go indoors during the hot summer and watch a movie. That was kind of like the mid 70s. We started seeing indoor theaters like that. Not the multiplex either. It was just one or two. That was my first date with my wife. I took her to see Rocky, and we went to an indoor theater 'cause she didn't trust me, and rightfully so. And we saw the first Rocky movie. All right, let's see. Did Bob? Did I see the Giants? Yeah, bench Danny Dimes. For a guy that lives at home with his mom. But he played pretty well when he played a couple years ago. Really. Let's see, Joe. Did Mosley sue Washington over kicking field goals, breaking his record on every kick? I don't know what that's about. Mike, no more pizza. Oh, that's my cousin Mike, and we'll go eat pizza again somewhere. I got a slice. I'm going to do a show. I just saw it in a freezer, so I bought it. It's some kind of vegan, awful looking thing. So I got to do one on there. Oh, I also have a video coming out on Tuesday night with my two son-in-laws. Um, I got a couple bottles of the Field of Dreams bourbon whiskey, and so we tried it out. And I'm not really a hard liquor guy. That's kind of been my first drink of hard liquor in a while. So watch the video tomorrow night. You'll see what Field of Dreams bourbon's like. Let's just say one of us was a lightweight, and it wasn't either of them. Let's see. They're starting Tommy DeVito, right? That's right. Okay, Eddie, can't wait for this weekend's game. There you go. All my Cowboy friends down here in South Texas are making excuses. Well, what I just saw was the roof was caving in on them. I mean, we thought the floor was going out from under them. Now the roof's coming at them. Poor guys. Let's see. What time is it? Okay, 8:24. So I'll put this in again. Most people watch the show like 15 minutes and rotates through. It's not. There's some hardcore guys here, but not everybody. So if you're new and you haven't listened to my opening plea, we're donating money to a food bank this week for Thanksgiving and trying to help people who have nothing. And trust me, there's a ton of people. It's, like my church, we give out over 100 turkeys. And I mean, we're not even making a dent in this thing. And you think that would. So many kids don't have something to eat. It's so many seniors. So we try to donate all the money you send to me, either through PayPal or Venmo, or if you use the $ below here, thanks button, it'll all go to the local food bank, and it makes something of a difference. So when you eat your turkey, you can think, hey, I help somebody else eat one too. And what better feeling is than that? The only better feeling maybe is next month we do a toy drive in a couple of weeks. I'll start collecting money for kids. You can do toy drives online at Amazon now that they like give you everything to just make it click and pay, and you help kids out in these toy drives. It's amazingly easy. So I can't imagine being a kid. They got nothing at Christmas, I mean, my God. So my parents did, and they were Great Depression kids, and they tell the stories. And when, my mom's big present at Christmas was an orange from the relief people. My cousin's on here, so he'd back me up on this story probably. And that was it. You got an orange. I mean, and that was more than my dad got. So, I can't believe we're still doing this in America, but yes, we are. So please donate to the causes, and we'll all feel better because we help somebody. I'll match all the dollars that come in. And so you get a 2-for-1er right there. Okay, let's see. Eddie Benitez, thank you so much for chipping in. I do appreciate it. I feel like Jerry Lewis on the telethon. That was another great thing. Look how much money Jerry Lewis used to raise for kids, with muscular dystrophy. Tim, looks like Dallas D is thrown in the towel. Well, we know how that looks like. Saw it here last year. Oh, okay. So the Texans are already scoring, huh? Texans, nice team. Mike, have you seen the new show Landman? I watched it today. Love Billy Bob Thornton. He's a great actor. Everything he does. He's like Gene Hackman or Sean Connery for years. If they made a movie, you went and saw it. Matter of fact, who's going to see Gladiator Friday? I mean, Wicked too. I promise that if they don't stop playing those Wicked commercials where that girl goes, I'm going to start burning brooms or something, and then my wife won't have a way to work. Don't tell her I said that. She doesn't come on social media. But Gladiator too. I looked up Gladiator. The first one was in 2000. It's been 24 years since Gladiator movie. How many times have we watched that? I'm looking forward to number 2. I'm sure it's just like 1. You just get in the arena and start killing people. And Wicked, I took my daughters to see the play years ago, whenever that was. But Landman looked good. It looked very promising. If you guys didn't see it, it comes on right after Yellowstone on Paramount. Yellowstone's looking interesting to see how they wrap this up. But Billy Bob Thornton's always great. Traveling Alien, Sling Blade, yeah, with Billy was great. I mean, that dude he's just a good actor. He used to be much heavier, so he looks a lot different, young, with his face kind of withdrawn. That's the kind of look I'm going for, losing weight. You'll just I'll get messages from people going, "You feel okay?" I actually feel good now. I finally got off the wrong meds that were killing me for a long time. So now I can, feel like a normal person for a while. I already said that I can't feel great for more than 5 minutes. So whatever. So maybe if Mike takes me to one of our new pizza places, Mike, there's one near you. I was going to call you up about it. My cousin, I have a lot of cousins in DC area, so lucky enough to see them occasionally. All right. Wow. Caught up to everybody's questions. We're halfway through the show. It's amazing how much I can talk like this. With 3-hour show on Friday, we did a 3-hour show waiting for Tyson. I thought, while I'm waiting for questions, when that other guy came out and he's riding in a car and singing with the crowd and all this, and I thought Tyson's going to kill this guy. He's not going to be ready to get in the ring. Then you see Tyson walk in by himself, and then they're doing introductions, and Jake is just screwing around, and Tyson's looking at him like, I am going to kill you. I've seen that look by Mike. And for the first couple rounds, he tried, but the other guy kept backing up, figuring I'll wear you out and then I'll win on points. What a coward's way of doing things. When that guy, Jake, faces a real fighter that's really into it, he's going to get knocked to the canvas badly. You can't run from people forever. I mean, I don't think Tyson threw the fight, but there's all this conspiracy stuff. Whatever. It was an exhibition. We weren't settling the fate of humanity. But I met Mike and spent time with him. I like him. So I was kind of wishing he'd knock that guy out. But whatever. Let's see. Randolph, don't underestimate Dallas. Well, you can't because, this past weekend of games, there was a couple of them. I couldn't believe one team won the game. So in the NFL, everybody's always got a puncher's chance on that. Yeah, I remember the 1-15 year. All right, Traveling Alien. They have a studio on YouTube. Whose studio? Are the Terps done after Saturday? Yes, Bob, because they didn't win 6 games this year. So no bowl after 3 straight years of bowls. I wonder if Maryland, I can't imagine Loxley's going to get let go by Maryland. He's been to 3 straight bowl games until this year. So, stabilize the program. I think to give him at least another year. Plus, M Club doesn't really have money for buying out people. Okay, Traveling Alien. I was worried if it was actually an official fight. I mean, yeah, it's after 4 rounds it counts, but it was not like it was going for anybody's title belt or anything. I guess if you have to put that blemish on Tyson's record, well, I got 20 million bucks for it. No. Billy Bob Thornton Studio. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Mike, you crashed out quickly Friday all of a sudden. It happens to all of us. I just realized we were having Netflix was having such problems. It's after midnight. I'm like, all right, man, at one point, I don't understand how this happened. Netflix was behind like 4 rounds on the fight before Tyson. And everybody said, no, you got to click this other button that says live. Why? I mean, if this is how they're going to do sports, these football games on Christmas are going to be rough. So I just thought, let's just, at this point, let's just go. Everybody was quit asking questions. Everybody was tired. So what can I tell you? I did watch it from my couch. Lou, there you go. Lou's from California. So he's catching up to me. It's only dinner time there. How do I think the Brandon Coleman has played this year? I thought he played okay until the last game. That last game, he kind of got worked on. There's a chance I could see him being flipped to right tackle, but this team is not going to be in position to at least draft a left tackle high up, one of those can't miss guys, who do miss. So there's a chance he could go to right tackle, seeing what they do in free agency and the draft. I'm surprised. They liked him from day one. They talked a lot about him in the off-season camps, and but to me, I always got to see it in September before I believe anything. Coaches are always optimistic in the early part of it. So let me recap, since it's halfway through the show and a lot of you weren't here at the very beginning. Quinn did say today that Jaden Daniels is not hurt. Okay. I mean, listen, Quinn is this pretty straight guy. I know in the NFL they think lying's not a sin, but I pretty much trust Quinn when he says something. He's not someone who wants to rub margins or play things like, say, Rivera did or Marty did. There's a lot of guys in the past that wouldn't be straight shooters. He is a straight shooter. There are levels of no one's hurt, no one's injured. That's two different things in a way. So, and it's about, can you play with pain? So he's hurt more than he's injured because nothing's broken. But anyway, they're hoping that he's, full practices this week, he'll get back to his old form. And then as far as Marshawn Lattimore, Quinn said they're hoping that he hits the field by the end of the week. But to me, that means he's not playing against Dallas, and I think on there. So that was pretty much the news out of today. And then we did talk about Jack and Cook's daughter, Jacqueline. We just found out that she passed away last month, only 36 years old. I saw her a little bit with Cook last year or two. Cook was alive. She would ride in his golf cart with him and go watch practice. And, he was in his mid 80s at that point. So, it's not your usual father-daughter experience, but, I know she lived in New York and Boston. I'd hear something about her once in a while. She inherited some of the Cook money. So, I don't know what happened to her. They didn't have any notice. They had an appreciation in the paper about it. Somebody called me and was like, Jacqueline's dead. I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, I was really kind of thrown me for a loss there at the beginning because 36, wow. You hate to see young people die like that. So I have no idea what happened to her. But just a shame. And she's going to be buried alongside her father. He's buried at Trinity Episcopal Church, which is in Upperville, Virginia, kind of middle of nowhere. It's an old 14th century French style church that the Mellon family paid for. And the Mellons are buried 50 yards maybe from Cook. And the Mellons and Cook hated each other. Here's an old story for you. Jack and Cook love horse racing. And he and Paul Mellon, from like Mellon Banks, Mellon Oil, all these things, he had a horse win the Kentucky Derby. And boy, that really ticked Cook off. They had property adjoined each other, but they didn't like each other. And the funny part is, because I'd ask them, I knew each man I talked to, and because I was covering Kentucky Derbies back then on there. And Go Advertising just sent in $15. Thank you so much. So I would talk to them both. Well, Mellon considered Cook new money trash, believe it or not, and because Mellons were generational wealth, where Cook was self-made. So they really went at it. Now they're buried within sight of each other's graves. I find really ironic. Okay, Antoinette, do you like Black Friday games? Sure. It's not like I'm at the mall shopping. I mean, so I'll take them. Why not? Antoinette, hit me again. Okay, with two tough losses, do you think Quinn can get the players back on track? I think so. I mean, they got a schedule now that will help them some. So I think they'll snap back and beat Dallas this week. Mike, who thank you so much for chipping in, and he puts in here the quote. I saw this quote too today about she loved watching the races. Jacqueline loved watching the Kentucky Derbies because Jack loved to go. Jack ran a horse once called Flying Continental. I think he finished 12th, something down the track. Cook loved that horse, but that horse just wasn't good enough. And Sharon in the Redskins Stadium, I didn't realize she came there because FedEx Field opened. Jack died in April, and then the stadium opened in September. And so he never saw it himself. Although Cook's last day, he actually spent in his car in the middle of the field, which didn't have grass then, but he was at midfield watching the stadium being built. That was his last day. So I knew Cook as well as anybody in the media knew him, more or less. I mean, a funny story between Cook. So Cook, and there was an old sports writer named Mo Siegel, who was about the same age as Cook, I guess. And I worked with Mo too at the Washington Times, and he was an old sports writer too. Sort of like me now, And and they got into an argument. Cook would be on the stage, or they'd sign somebody. Cook's sitting on the stage, and Mo asked him a question, and Cook couldn't help but tweak them. They love tweaking each other, grumpy old men. And he go, Maury, is that you out there looking? And Mo goes, you goddamn well know it's me. I shouldn't say that word, but that's what he said. And they start just baiting each other. And the rest of us are just eating our popcorn and watching. We're not getting in the middle of this thing. Those two love to tweak each other. It was really funny, So you don't get much of that anymore, those kind of things. Traveling man, what do you think about Netflix hosting the games? Well, after that debacle against with the fight, I don't have a lot of faith. But then again, that showed them what they need to fix. So they can, I guess, add more servers or whatever you got to do, and that'll help them. Maybe avoid problems on Christmas. I mean, come on, don't ruin Christmas. Now, it's not the Commanders playing. Thank you, Lord, for that. That would be my wife's breaking point on that. I did tell people Thursday night, my wife actually sat down on the couch next to me when the game came on. We've been married almost 44 years. She has never, ever, ever sat down and watched the game with me like that. And she read a book mostly. And then she got a phone call and was gone most of the game. But I was like, whoa, you're freaking me out, man. What are you doing here? That was strange. I thought, wow, is this team getting so good that she's even coming on the bandwagon? Strange. I try to teach my 9-year-old grandson about football. So I got to tell you, when football's over with, I don't even want to talk about it so much at home, which I kind of like that way. Now I have to start explaining football to everybody. Oh, well. Let's see, Mike, is there a link to donate to the food bank? No, but you can Google any food bank around you want. It doesn't have to be the one I am in Southern Maryland. I'm doing Southern Maryland Food Bank, but there's one in your town, trust me. So anyone you do is great. Stewie, rib injury for, I assume, Jaden Daniels? Yes. What's the severity? They claim there's nothing broken. He had bruised ribs. I've had bruised ribs. They will heal in time, but it takes a while. And I don't have 300-pound men, beating down on me every week. That's got to delay it a little bit. Now, I've heard of no treatments on him like that. So I know they padded him up and all. And he's a tough kid. And he's young. He can bounce back. But it's, I don't think those ribs are going to bother him till March. I hate to tell him. They're going to hurt for a while. Tim, what's the honest opinion of the stadium overhaul? Well, from what I've seen, it's been nice. They've spent like $125 million. So, got new duct tape everywhere. No, I'm kidding. I've seen the concessions areas and stuff that they've redone, and they've done some work on the parking lots even because they were all cracked up. I mean, if you walk around the parking lots, they have just because it's rolling hillside, just as to be expected after 30 years, the pavement's pretty beat up. So they've done a lot of work on that too, so you don't fall in the parking lot. But there's only so much you can do. I mean, so I think they've done a decent job of it. Now, the rich people areas I don't really hang out in, so I haven't noticed a whole lot of what goes on there. Mike, FedEx was originally called the Big Jack. Well, it kind of, and I actually was the one who reported that. That was my story, that the workers in the place called it the Big Jack when they were building it. I mean, people who building that stadium were really proud to work there, and they would call it the Big Jack amongst themselves. And then I wrote about it in the paper, and then everybody called it that. But originally, um, it was called Jack and Coke Stadium for the first couple of years, and then Snider came in and sold naming rights to it. Antoinette, if Commanders had a home game on Christmas, would you go? No. 2 days a year I don't work, Christmas and Easter. Those are God's days. I'm not in family days. I'm not working on Christmas. Never have. Work every other day of the year, but not those. I remember Easter when McNabb trade happened. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. But at least it was in the evening. So I was done with other family things. Traveling alien, the largest piece of metal falls from AT&T Stadium. Yeah, I saw it on TV. I was like, whoa. Pimp Daddy. Ooh, like that name. Hail to the Redskins. Hail victory. That's the song. And I did a video on Sunday. It said, you want to sing Hail to the Redskins? There are no music police. Do what you want. Sing it loud and proud. Look, because the crowd does at the stadium. They're not singing Hail to the Commanders. They're singing Hail to the Redskins. And that's fine. If you don't like it, don't have to listen. David, he didn't have bruised ribs. He had a rib cartilage issue. Well, I mean, it's all a general term. Yeah. So, I mean, you're right about that. It's a general term. It's bruised ribs. Are you a doctor, David? Or did you go to Yale? Okay. When you get too particular about stuff, you're just getting into the nuances. Traveling alien. There have been conversations that teams' defenses have figured out Kingsbury. I've heard about this, the Kingsbury Clift and all that stuff. I'm not familiar enough with his Arizona days to really say that, but I don't think that's what the problem has been lately. It's kind of been a confluence of several things. Larry, the NFL is trying to cancel the Trump dance. Well, I don't know much of what that's about, but I try not to talk politics on the show too much because nobody in America is going to change their mind about anything. So I don't feel like arguing about it. You can believe for or against whoever you want. So, and that's your right as an American. So that's why I don't worry about it too much. Talking about it. Got other things to talk about. Let's see. I heard the Lions players did the Trump dance. I don't even know what the Trump dance is. And I don't care if you have to explain it to me. It's okay. Mike, driving last week by the Chesapeake Tunnel and past Norfolk, saw a bunch of cotton fields in full bloom. Wow, I didn't know that. That they have there. I've never taken the Chesapeake Tunnel, and I actually was talking to somebody about it recently. I haven't been to two counties in Maryland. They're down by that tunnel. One of these days, I got to take it. Trying something, do some different stuff. I was trying to start traveling again. I'm getting ready to book a tour next fall for Central Europe. So I'm going to go see 7 countries over like 3 weeks in Central Europe. So it could be fun. And my cotton fields, that was my family. They were cotton farmers in the South and Carolinas. And I have the plow of my grandfather and great grandfather used for their cotton fields. It's now sitting in my yard, in my garden. I had to recondition it, but the blade and all still there. How these two men did this stuff, with that little blade doing acres and acres behind a mule. But my grandfather was 6'8". I wish I was 6'8", but if I was, I'd probably be in jail for beating people up or something. But he was 6'8", and my dad was 6'5". My dad finally decided he wanted to work in cotton fields because he grew up in a shack with no running water and no electricity, and said, "This ain't the business for me." so he got out of there. But I know a lot about cotton business, believe it or not. Family. Bryce, of the remaining 6 games, how many victories give us a solid wild card? And how many overtake the Eagles? Might have to, of 6, might have to win. Oh, you got to win. If you win through 3, you're in the playoffs. Maybe even 2. Nine wins might. Uh, in some situations, 9 wins would. 10 would definitely do it. I think you got to at least win. You got to win 12 to win the division this year, and you got to beat the Eagles in the next game. Daniel, am I going to Hungary? Yes, as a matter of fact, that is one of them. Clayton, still have a few tomatoes left on the vine. Wow. Okay. Yeah. But we had a bad drought here this summer, really wreaked havoc with my garden. I lost a lot of my corn and lost all my melons. So tough year. Okay. Antoinette, are you going to the White House Capitol lighting? Well, to go to the White House lighting of the tree, you have to win a lottery, and I have not won for like the last 10 years. I keep going for it, and what's really a bad thing to do. And both sides do this. It ain't one side over the other. Whoever the sitting president is, the other opposition party really pushes to get all the tickets and then not come. So it makes the president look bad, like it's an empty. And both sides do this. Meanwhile, people like me want to take their grandkids who are locals, can't get in. Now you can go the next day, and it's open for about a month or so. Now the U.S. Capitol tree is free for anybody to come see, and it's a really nice tree too. Um, there's a place in DC now called they call it Center City. They can call it whatever they want, but they're like, we have the best tree, and it's a nice tree. I'll get it, but you're not the White House. Sorry, And of the White House versus the Capitol, depends on the year. The White House tree has been neglected a lot, and they got rid of the trains that used to have around there. It used to have a nativity scene. Used to have animals there. They had roaring bonfires. They had all this stuff. Now they just got a tree, and it's underdone. I would like to think, the actual night that they have it. I have gone once to see a tree lighting at the White House. They wait till either it's a night it's going to rain or colder than hell, and you question your sanity about why did I say do this. And usually my wife picks out a night that's going to be really cold, and then we go see it. I've been seeing a Christmas tree since the mid '60s when my parents would take me. Trees were much bigger when I was a little kid. Larry, okay, so I don't watch UFC either. So I'm a lover, not a fighter anymore. No. Clayton, best year ever for tomatoes. Wow. All right. Well, good for you. You grew 200 off 7 plants. Wow. All right. Champion. I tried to grow blue pumpkins this year, and I got the seeds for them. Yeah, nothing. And I actually got some blue sunflower seeds. My sunflowers did well, but I didn't see any of them blue. So they probably just laughing how they charge me twice as much for BS. What's the biggest Christmas lights display you've ever seen, Mike? Whew, that's a good question. I mean, the White House was good until a few years back when they stopped making it a big deal. If you want to see trains at Christmas when you come to Washington, the train displays, they're at the National Arboretum. You can go see them. That's right at the foot of the U.S. Capitol. And they have a really great train display for that in town. The best hotel in town for Christmas is the Willard, which is right by the White House. I mean, they got carolers in there. It's decorated like you wouldn't believe. I mean, I was by somebody's house today. I was riding my bike because it's 70 degrees here. So I went riding my bike for a while. And there were people putting, the Christmas lights up on the house. I'm like, we're not even to Thanksgiving yet. I mean, the local radio station that plays 24 hours a day Christmas music started yesterday. We were 10 days away from Thanksgiving. It's not even like Thanksgiving's this week. I guess if it makes you happy, go for it. All right, Texans are up 14-0. I like that. So for those of you who came in late, or if you're watching on replay, more people watch on replay than watch live, believe it or not. Kind of got a smaller crowd tonight, but no game yesterday. But I am donating all the money. I'm matching it too. So if you'd like to donate money, you can use my PayPal or Venmo, or here on YouTube, you can do the dollar sign, and I will donate it to the local food bank, and we'll try and help people who are hungry. There's a lot of hunger in America. It's sad to believe. Um, let's see. Also, let's see what else we're doing. One programming note. You guys watch me on YouTube, but I am on Twitter, X, whatever. Rick Snider's Washington, and I decided to go ahead and put on a RS Washington on this new Blue Sky, which I don't know if it's going to be anything or not. I tried Threads, and that was nothing. So, but I am on Blue Sky, whatever it is. If you want, it's RS Washington, and I'm on Instagram some, which is Rick Snider's Washington. So I'm just trying to spread it out a little bit more. I did an audit. We recently passed my 4th anniversary doing the show, and it came up 22 million views. So even I was surprised. So thank you all for watching. I do appreciate that. Antoinette, favorite pie? Well, this time of year, pumpkin. But if any other time of the year, apple. You go to Costco, you get one of them cheap pumpkin pies, which are delicious, but will feed like 50 people. You know, I'm trying not to eat this stuff anymore as much, but I'll have a slice of pumpkin pie. We're having Thanksgiving at my house this year, so maybe some of the turkey left over will be here. And cake, yeah, there isn't a cake. I didn't get the size being picky, Antoinette. There's not too many cakes. I don't like carrot cake, but I'll eat fruit cake if it's fresh. If not, if it's 100 years old on there, I like that too. Mike, thank you again for chipping in. Yeah, the Rocky movie. Yeah, well, we've been together 44 years next month. So I was a child when I got married. What can I tell you? So is she. But pecan, no. Clayton, no. Stop it. German chocolate cake, a little rich for me, and that's saying something. But it's good, but it's kind of much for me. We must be at the end of the show if we're talking desserts. Bob, the club levels have been upgraded and they're super nice. I mean, I've seen them a little bit, and for all the money people pay, I guess, should be. Slam and Jammin', always one of my favorite names. You're watching the Cowboys and Texans. But, like I said with Tyson, the other night, there's been a lot of butt whippings in that stadium this year. So why not have Tyson's fight there too? We have to say cowboy jokes. Yeah, I haven't really watched much of the Cowboys though this season. Do I really do tours around DC, Alex? Yeah, absolutely. I've been a licensed tour guide for 15 years because I looked at the future of journalism and knew that things were going to go badly. So I decided I got my license, and I can do pretty much anything. If you go to monumentalthoughts.com, it has my tour stuff there, has some of it, and you can email me through monumentalthoughts@gmail.com if you're coming to town. I do get a bunch of fans that come on tour with me. So, if you're coming down for the holidays or whatever, I'm glad to show you around town. I usually cut prices for people that watch me here. I knock off a few bucks. Antoinette, coconut custard cake. No, no. Coconut's really bad for you too. Your heart. No, no, no. Can't you people just have a simple thing? I like sweet potato pie too. I'm going to start a fight, but I don't see where it's that greatly different than pumpkin pie. I mean, they're kind of cousins, I like both on there. I don't eat rhubarb pie or anything weird like that. What Super Bowls have I attended? I did 5 of them, Tim. The last Redskins one, 91, January 92. I did that one. I was part of the 87 coverage, but I didn't get to go to the game because that's a long story. But I covered a lot of it around it. And then I did 4 more. I'm trying to remember. I think it was 2001 was my last one though, because I had a heart attack in 02, didn't go. So 2001, 2000, saw St. Louis win. won. You forget. I watched the Giants win. I saw New England win one. Super Bowls are awesome to go to if you get a chance. So they had a Super Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. My aunt lived nearby, and she said, "I'd love to go to the game. Can you get me tickets?" And I'm kind of like, She goes, I said, "You understand these are expensive?" She goes, "Well, she was like in her 80s at this point. I can go $100." So for $100, I can have you stand on the overpass down the road, and you can see the team buses go by. Because I did that last. Said, "No, it's going to be a lot more than that, and I can't afford to just buy them for you." Uh, but Super Bowls are a lot of fun. Usually about three or four times as many people come to a town for a Super Bowl who don't go to the game. They don't have the tickets. So, um, it's a big party central. New Orleans is a great place for it. Tampa was a lot of fun. I did one there. Minnesota, I did one there. No, cold. John, thank you so much for sending some money in for the food bank. I do appreciate it. This would be great. We did pretty well tonight with this. Mike was at Tampa 08. Okay, I was at Tampa like 01 or something like that. 850. Yeah, woo, you paid a lot of money. I'd always be afraid to buy from scalpers back then because you didn't know if they were real tickets or not. But now I guess with technology, I guess you can I don't know. I'm sure there's a scammer out there that if there's money, there are scammers that know how to get it from us. On there. Okay, last couple minutes. Anybody that wants to, you can always send it to me later. If you're watching on replay, you can still send me the money on for the food banks, and we'll try and, we did pretty well tonight. We did about $100 or so, and I'll match it. So that'll feed a few people. I mean, it's better than nothing, and a little show like this can probably put food on the table for several families. That's an awesome feeling. So I do appreciate everybody doing that. Videos tomorrow. The evening one is the evening one's where I try the Field of Dreams bourbon with my sons-in-law. We all try it. Let's just say one of the three of us was a lightweight, but so that's on tomorrow, and I forget what I did in the morning. I don't even remember. So, I know. I talk about Jacqueline Ken Cook, who passed away, as I mentioned earlier, and I talk about her tomorrow morning. Let's see. Also, we got some money in from Mike Mobley. Thank you so much. You guys are very good this year. I think we broke last year's record, which is awesome. And so I just can't stand thinking of people who are hungry any day of the year, much less Thanksgiving. And next month we do a toy drive. I can't imagine a kid waking up with nothing in this country. That's just sad. So we try to do what we can. Yeah, that's all we can. All right. I guess that's it for everybody. So, wow. I did a show last Friday too. So we were trying to just get whatever's going on. But this week, they get back to practice on Wednesday. I expect them to beat Dallas. I think they'll beat Dallas like a drum, to be honest. And I think they're going to beat Tennessee. So I think things are getting back on track. They played two really, really good teams. So, that's why it was a little, sad that they couldn't win them, at least one of them, but it's okay. In a month from now, you won't even remember those games. Let's see, David. Let's see. A couple years ago, the old color unions were actually not burgundy. That's right. With Lombardi's brother. All right, I'll tell this story real quick. So Lombardi comes in '69. His brother-in-law is a sporting goods merchandise salesman. So he gives them the business, and they redesigned the team's jerseys and such. They had the helmet with the spear, all that stuff. Well, they didn't get the jerseys till the night before the first game. I mean, they're kind of freaking out. And when they get there, the color's off. It's not burgundy. It's like wine or something. It's a little different shade. Screw it. Got a game tomorrow. You got to use something. So they wore them. So that's what happened. Kind of crazy as that is. And then Lombardi passed away the next year. So they had other people over the years. Everybody's tinkered with them. And now it's all about, Madison Avenue marketing groups deciding colors, and whoever did the black one, that's just stupid. on there. I think we've been proving that. Just I like a good burgundy. I like the burgundy they have now. I like the burgundy helmet. I'm not a big uniform guy, but I think that looks sharp on there. Wow, Dallas scored. What did they do? Give them a game. Are we as good as the Chiefs, Greg? Gosh, it's hard to tell with the Chiefs. They don't look like the best team, and yet they keep winning. Well, they finally got beat this week, but I would say no. If they had to play the Chiefs straight up on Sunday, Chiefs would win because they could beat Washington secondary enough on there. Mike, thanks so much, and everybody. We are done for the night. That's right. I do have the bill. So video 6 a.m. if you're watching on replay, or if you missed any of the show, you want to see the earlier part for some strange reason, you can just wait a few minutes and YouTube will replay the show on there. So, it's all coming. It's all good. And I'll be back next Monday. David, your thing, I don't know about if I would agree with that. All right. So anyway, Just Moody, thank you so much. This man has never missed a minute of my show, except for the 1 week he chose family over me. But okay, it's all right. Clayton, thank you. Tim, you too. There you go. All you guys, you get extra bell ringing for all the money we brought in tonight. I'm not sure how much it is, but it's probably like $150. So flip it, double mine. I got to take all the money I made on tour yesterday. We're going to throw into there. And next week we'll meet again. So not everybody was here. Oh, hit the thumbs up button on your way out the door because that makes the algorithm happy, if nothing else. And like I said, you can see me now on the blue sky thing. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll try it. Instagram, Rick Snider's Washington, and here. So, and Facebook, but I only have Facebook friends. I don't. If to be my Facebook friend, I have to know you since the 1970s, more or less. And that is it. So I'm Rick Snider for Rick Snider's Washington. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and I'll see you again next week.